Alright, time to continue where we left off last time, which is on page 3. Yes. So, we're about to meet Mr. Carlos, who I haven't given a proper voice to yet, but should be fun. Well, see, he knows I haven't given him a voice yet, which is why he's being quiet. This is depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. I love this portrait. Holy shit. Whoa. Why is the music louder? Why did I mess it up again? Okay. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover. But this shouldn't take all night. Why? Look, I already told you people I didn't... I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Yeah, well. They said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here, kept repeating it the whole time over. The whole ride over. They said they were going to help me. That they knew this was all a mistake. And then they said that I killed. Acting like they were on my side and they thought I could have... It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine. And I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? Well, I want to know about the murder. No. Let's talk about you. Let's start simple. Something mundane, rounded, rote. I don't know what rote means. I should look that up soon. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with city engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts. The police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So, what do I know? He works in city engineering, not a desk job. Reyes said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty utilitarian. Yeah, he doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and restless, and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. a whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present, test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I'd start small. A hand or an eye. Test the water. Never thought about lobbing my own damn arm off. But the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said because of the NCDA, there was a financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned. So now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even get me to keep the tax credit. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. English. The New Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I work the tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know. He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him and keep him talking. But the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy? You must be under a lot of pressure. Now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight. And this crap was long. Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that international affairs is gonna come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise and no room for problem solving. No room for engineering? Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues. Starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? I'm assuming it's physical therapy for modders. Process of adjusting the mind for the, yeah. It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then, do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So those cuts on his face are just from shaving? Never thought this would go on so long. I'd have to relearn to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people who get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Yeah. Sucks because he really just did the right thing and I got shit on immediately for it. Where'd you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. It doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! I've had a dozen other clinics with a shorter wait time. But as long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. where your arm gets maintenance. Words. Gotta warm up. This is the warm up, guys. Until Reyes shows up. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. Haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy a rent replacement yourself, just in the meantime? I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi. All locked up, white knuckle tight. Hindi? How Industries? Oh, I feel like this is important for us to look up. How Industries is the world leader in the research, development, manufacturing, and fitting of cybernetic prosthetics for commercial and private use. And we're hiring. We're seeking motivated and passionate archivists, programmers, salespeople, and college graduates with degrees in digital archaeology, cybernetic anatomy, and more. Yeah, I'm sure you are. As I recall, he's registered with one of their habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I lose lose the down payment and my arm, and I'd never work in this city again. If this was the last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Wait, what did I just get? Oh yeah, his profile. July 8th, your height is tall, very tall, 190, oh my god. 94 kilograms, B-, he's a civil engineer. He dislikes cabs, musicals, and cashews. Well, favorite flower, poppy. Okay, I can forgive you for not liking musicals because you like poppies. But I'm still mad that you like them. But, okay. Student debt, sizable. Luck, poor. Poor guy. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. The phantoms, you say? I'm assuming like phantom limbs and phantom pain. Let's see, yeah. And then phantom visions are caused by faulty insulation. Okay. Anything arm-shaped attached to me? Didn't they give you something to, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a deadweight, 3-jointed, landfill bait piece of shit! Ooh. Sorry. It's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that they cut corners on. It fits. It's compatible, technically. I could slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend, and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead. So, were you wearing it when... Let's say when you were arrested. Let's have some tact. Were you wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... I'm sure they did. An affordable model. Bronzer 2081. Frequently cite issues with finger articulation and quick twitch movements. Records show Carlos Flat was provided this model while his habilis is being repaired, but he claims to rarely wear it. Kind of gone too far. So, Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only, because at the time in question, he didn't even have a right. Well, no inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about as well as can be expected. But this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends, always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually? Okay, let me do that again. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly, saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused her studies on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. She just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gate. Practically headhunted, do you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real ass job. Paid real ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. Right as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, and the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco's about as tame as a big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to a new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes, corporate politics getting rough. I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, I know no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. The details... Whatever. Details. You can also say details. I can. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself, but more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous of her nothing. Jealous of her goddamn money. The reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m? 8? Yeah, that must have been when we started. We got into it, and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. Well, my accent is just all over the place, isn't it? Okay. And I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line, and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Walked right out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid. Thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you? Or any other electronics? No. I kinda stormed off. Didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves... Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have the details quite right. My head is... But if my exact route would help, the cam's probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi. This can't... Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't... Because... I am the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now, you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point I must have started running, because when I got back I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, oh, I did that wrong. Something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't... You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment, street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off and the whole room was a mess. I thought we had been robbed, or she had fallen, or there was broken glass, furniture knocked over, and she... Oh, sorry. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw the gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. I love Morgan so much. This is great. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. And none of this works if he doesn't trust me. his prints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. It was just... Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun, but not in the way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun... So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home, right in front of... You're in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went, probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What? A physical? We never thought like that. Did the police say we did? They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume? Yeah, well, it's stupid for them to assume that because there's glass on the body from the mirror that got knocked over, whatever. I mean, I technically only know this because I played the case. But I mean, it's a normal assumption to make at this point, I think. But then again, you know, I've played the case, I'm spoiled about everything anyway, so... Well, not spoiled, I've played it for myself before I was spoiled. I just want to play it again because I like it so much. Was it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered, so... right, it's just that. It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details? Okay, let me see it. Take your time. Silence. Focus time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind. I don't exactly remember where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course. And that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, the cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry. That's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? Amazing skills. Incredible, Morgan. Beautiful. Amazing. What's wrong? Oh, wait, no, that's Carlos's voice. Not that there's much difference, but... What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct, Sparkle. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up, Sparkle Sparkle. It is just, I guess I just assumed the notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean that statement. Okay, we just heard this, so. I think your drawing was pretty good, considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper. Say things I don't mean to. So this morning, I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them? That's... I broke her fidget tubbies. Her what? Cue music. Oh, not yet? Okay. Her what? No, there's the music. I was early. Her fidget tubbies. They're so cute. They're these collectible ceramic character things. I'm gonna take a screenshot of them actually. They're so cute. Okay. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters. She loved those things. They're not worth a damn, but you can buy them at any flea market or garage sale. But they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. What did we just get? Oh, the fidget tubbies! Evidently an acquired taste. Morgan, you just don't have taste. I'm sorry. This is a lie. Please don't come for me, Morgan. You have great taste. I love the fact that you dyed your hair the same color as your eyes. Unless your hair's not dyed. Wait, I don't think it's dyed actually. Oops. Whatever. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that got... Oh, wait. Yeah. But the goddamn piece of shit rent alarm, I hardly know where I'm swimming it half the time. Swimming it. I'm gonna do that again. But the goddamn piece of shit rent alarm, I hardly know where I'm swimming it. Oh, fuck, again. Swimming it. Again. But that goddamn piece of shit rent alarm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Okay, that wasn't great anyway, but that was a hard sentence for me. I don't know why. Got so angry, I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless... What did we just get? Platt's rental. Yeah. Okay. Let's say he did break her frigid duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail. Decide how you're gonna pronounce that name, Lacey. Come on. Decide. Oh. It's detail. Or it could be detail. No, we're saying detail. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession for the heartbreak killings anyway... I couldn't even bother to sweep him up, I felt so... Alright, Carlos. Thank you for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it. Oh. Okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everybody's on edge, a guy like that out there. He shoots people. Through the heart, right? The police have kept the victims. I hate the letter V so much. The police have kept the victims' appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? She's this slow on the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. 4:04 a.m. We are well into the night here. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Oh, one of my favorite lines coming up. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right. I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this? No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. Gotcha, Gabes. Are being called out, people. I meant more like playing cards. Oh, I meant more like playing cards. Oh. Well, then, no to that, too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice, because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And in this metaphor, we're playing poker, and the state's the dealer. If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there, and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up, and eventually, someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say? Just leave the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know, there's a saying about gamblers with strategies. Yo, ready to confess yet? That was her accent, right? Yeah. That's how I did her voice, I think. 'Cause I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. The district attorneys have final say on whether or not the case is brought to trial. Only fair, since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long protracted trials. And they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately then, you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time, kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. Time for the gameplay. Woo! 3 cheers for gameplay. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint my numbers stuff. See, we found a note at his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night, and now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for... He wrote a confession. Murder weapon. He was apologizing for the murder all along. No, it's the fidget tubbies. He was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking that exact same... I found myself asking that exact same question. What are we looking at here? Here. Something from the crime scene? Game? This diagram of the room. It's created from the data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that? How is that possible? Flat, don't come into your own argument here. The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it. The one time I try and thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession... Ugh. Cannot read today. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am. Because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of Fidget tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. And this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note, and we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since this couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arc clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle too. You're really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. They broke during the shooting. Not the all, but probably the rental, I think. Yeah, it's the rental because it's a dusty fidget tubby slayer. Yeah, because they'll find traces of ceramic debris on the rental arm and he wasn't wearing it when she got shot, so. Just take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed. Because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. It said that rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrolled, how panicked the note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded. Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It wouldn't be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is sensitive is right-handed. Because Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So, the reason why that note looks like Asylum Wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it'd be good practice. Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics, why are there 4 people in this scene? I am one person. I cannot differentiate all these people's voices. Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your clients are remorseless. Now, let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is... What, you're gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? He's trying to bait me, in her typical low-key fashion. She must have something, no sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious, what'll it be next? You're gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? I love this mechanic, where you can raise or stay, but obviously don't raise. He doesn't wear an extra small. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah, sure there's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention. I love this mechanic. There is an evil twin. Yeah, you still can't raise. But like, obviously, no, we shouldn't raise. By the way, this is an awesome CG. There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. By going there now, without hard evidence, I can't prove a third party. Or you can say, I can, but I can't, so stay. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep. Oh, sorry. At least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, Detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey. But not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use some fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought this room smelled like... Psst. Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So it doesn't make me look really bad. Just relax, Carlos. I am pretty sure that's impossible. Listen, Morgan. I am currently being prepared to go on trial for the murder of my girlfriend, which I didn't do. My girlfriend, who I love very much, who I'm pretty sure died really pissed at me. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. I am green now. I love the filters they do. People shouldn't count on the truth. People shouldn't count on the truth. Again, T and TH sounds one after the other. Terrible for me. The worst thing I am. The worst thing I can pronounce. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. We got it as evidence. Let's check it. The coat the suspect was wearing when taken into custody. Backroom analysis. So, what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey? Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. Again, by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you to your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. my client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happens to be an old-world, pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be the key word. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. What sense? Yeah, with choosing we're choosing a sense. And yeah, is it what you can smell, what you can feel on the coat with your hands, what you can see on the coat with your eyes? It's what you can smell. Because gunpowder, it's an old gun. Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London. I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket? By the way, I've never noticed this before. Well, I did notice this last session. But you know, when the line is too long to fit on one line, then when it goes to the second one, this tiny part of it remains visible even while the first line is being typed out. I don't know why that is. It must be the way it's coded. But it's weird that the way it would be coded is to have all of it there, then hide it, and then do it in a slower way. That's so interesting. Because this game is coded in Unity, I believe? Whatever, I thought that was interesting. If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. Hypocrite! Hypocrite alert! But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms, like the ones we carry, use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. He's pink. Gunpowder residue? You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one? It'll leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then this coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken time to highlight it. Oh, well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless, because he had literal blood on him when you found him, you idiots. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all that effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing. As soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, we're all green now. The smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. But I am pink fuchsia, you could say. I love this. I love the hyper-saturated colors, actually. I think they look so good. Aesthetically. Sorry, I know Morgan wouldn't want to read a word like that. Did she get a message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. That's actually not what I did. I just gave you evidence. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter? If she had that, we wouldn't be talking. But I doubt she's got to pull it. Ugh. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. Let's see, she must be bluffing. No, she isn't. She has a photo. She must have something. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure, there was. But this isn't from optics. And we lose anyway, because, yeah. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. That changes literally nothing. Guys, we know that somebody shot her. But this doesn't show who that is. We know somebody shot her at this time. This photo changes literally nothing. None of the facts that I just showed. If it's not him, it's gotta be somebody else, right? Okay. Well. Okay. The quality is lacking. And yet, there it is. They managed to find a quarter yield of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? Now, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit, blurry. Don't look at me. I didn't think of the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone. Probably venting about... Oh, that's London. Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. Which is terrible. And so we managed to get the shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed-in, blurred, color-shifted. And so compressed, it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. See, there it is. Did you see it? The pixel? And there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. Sorry. But I think I know a DA that could. That was not London's voice, but whatever. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo? What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter. He's right-handed, by the way. Standing in the hall. He's left-handed. It's on the record that he's left-handed. And yet, you say that he could shoot a gun so steadily that he shot people in the heart 5 times without missing once. Okay. Just trying to confirm. Okay, we have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before a judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. You say that, but forensics found absolutely nothing on him. That's gotta mean something. Oh yes, and also, yeah, okay, I guess it could. I see their point. I know it's not him, but I see that there is a point. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. Because I did it, huh? No. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, then that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from, exactly? Exactly? The positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we de-anon the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp was shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of that apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this was taken from across the north window. Crime scene map. That's eye view of the scene of the crime. This is important. Shows the northeastern window facing the southern hallway. Northeastern window facing the southern hallway where the shooter stood. Is this the door? No, this is the door. So this is the shows the western window facing the eastern hall. Right. From the north? If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the... It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. Let's check that. Oh wait, I was on the correct place. Shit, where'd it go? Yeah, because... Yeah, it says we're looking from the north. Which is where the... Okay, yeah. If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide. She's wrong, the photo is taken from the west. She's right, the photo is taken from the north. I believe the photo is taken from the west. And the western window facing the eastern hall. Yeah, because of the mirror, the way it mirrors... because the photo's mirrored. Which is why we see... I know, we see the clock. Sorry, no, the photos itself is not mirrored in that way per se, but we see the clock, and the clock is on the flat statement. The clock is on the eastern wall. The clock was here, and the clock is in the photo, so it must be taken from the west. There's no other way. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. The officer's ARC data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. Right, sorry about that. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And all that together, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider, not the jacket, a statement, because that shows where the clock was. The clock was on the wall. Just take one look at the clock in that photo. The clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. No, detective. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agreed the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistaking that. So then, what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads. But, do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. Shine, or glitter, whatever I called it. I didn't call it either of those things, I think. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's, very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info, doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slip from my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. Or you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You've got your logic backwards, detective, and also you're contradicting yourself. This photo was taken at the time of the shooting, so how would the clock be there if it's as you say? Like you're disproving your own argument here. Your previous photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. The glass on the victim. Shards fell. Oh, I can bet. Let me do that since I know all the answers already, and I'm a cheater. Glass shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body, and not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the... Oh my god. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Oh, he became Carlos there for a second. No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. That is such a me thing to say. I feel like I would definitely say that. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo right here, which doesn't show him. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit? That's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client, and the only fact that matters is that he used it to wait, I'm gonna do that again. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation, you're right about the prints, and this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is the mirror. This is a photo of the mirror. So that's the mirror, along with the clock. I think that's the argument that we need to be making. Let's go for it. What is that? You're trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, stood across from the room at the west... across the room from the western window. But then that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since that morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. Well, that should be at the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something that you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, detective, I'm well versed, also a hated combination of mine, a W and a V. I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow and everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him shocked, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting, and instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limbs, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late, and to bear my fangs a bit. Shoot! Bang, bang, bang! That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic of the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. You'd have to bring it to a clinic, which would have left a record in his shoulder OS. A record you won't find, and you still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. The SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where Detective Reyes did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? I'm going to lose it. Well... Any objections? Oh. Detective? God. Damn it! Fold, bitch. Fold. Show me your hand, flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attainer's a real tiger, and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same, counselor. You disappeared. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal, and there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what I Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's not like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. Oh, it's like she died of the flu. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense. Oh wait, oh my god. I've been going too long. I can't read anymore. I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, to try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Yeah. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find. Hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test. Rorschach test with a singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite at the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. 8:59 p.m. earlier today. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but... whatever. Outbreak! December 26th. It's us. Criminal, defense attorney. AKA, it's important to have punctuation, guys. Likes high places, gambling, and guns. Dislikes nosy people, mud, and headphones. Hobby is going to batting cages, or just batting cages in general, I guess. Favorite dish is mapo tofu. Man, I'm hungry, that sounds good right now. Cannot carry a tune. And cannot draw, apparently. No offense to her. Whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did you think I was a boyfriend back for an offer of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey. Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably aroused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use, even as a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I use the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes can think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean. Organized, even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except... there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall, something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If you can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was also stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeur would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and the breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected 1 too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight. Thick, energized, heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. No, didn't I click? Oh, I didn't. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always the most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Except the government. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. 5:01 a.m. Sorry, using my left is still... That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m, a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. What's that? No, that's not evidence. That's, sorry. Gamble. Strategy, quote. Did you mean how to start gambling, how to bet on sports on phone? A gambler with a system must be, to a lesser or greater extent, insane. Good to know. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotten in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of the sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with a case like this intimately, does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there, like lighting up smoke inside an interrogation room, just to make doubly sure I didn't smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy, and it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house? That's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diana's grateful too. Yeah. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So, when she died... Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. Present evidence. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. Pills for what? Meds for a moderate, non-lethal doses. What is the... Where did you find that? That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexisone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and there's a tricky clasp too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Oh, your smile is really precious. Said definitely not Morgan. Over 1 AM. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever see him again. Yeah, I hope so. But overstepping like that is just pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever... Oh, voice for Emma. Okay. found you. District Attorney Rockford. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Ugh. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night. You're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy, whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. Oh god, I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her so good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Emma. Yes, that's her. Idol Savant Stars. Is that like a gacha game? Cat buzzard? Yes, I agree. She's 165, she's not that much taller than me. That's good to know. Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you. I'm here to arrest you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well then, you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl. Reyes? They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown? They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill leaving so little behind. So, Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Sparkle? Oh wait, she became British. Well, whatever. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for weeks? She's not using his middle name. Unlike the police. His middle name is Bakker. Bakker? He was found with a murder weapon. But I can answer that any number of ways. It doesn't matter how I answer it, in fact. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right? Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about. His dominant arm rotted, with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints. She got all that from a glance? But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here. She is so cute. Oh my god. Of course. Worst part is, she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, right, sorry. You've probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Yes, it is. Trying to get your dating profile just right can be a full-time job. Let Valentine take the reign with our automated, secure, and confidential tools. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kinda fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 the who was caught on camera. All before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. So this profiling, it's some kind of investigative technique? The theory is that the crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the thing you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal records, few or no meaningful attachments. Are you feeling attacked? Are you? There's a lot of reoccurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence, so how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized. Oh, it's painstakingly? I've always thought it was painstakingly, like painstakingly. Of course it's not that. Why would I thought that for years. And with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat has picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified and undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in that metaphor, I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely. And considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. So, does that mean the heart breaks in law enforcement? Never in a 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I do not do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how did they know about the blackout timing? Crime meta statistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays. Chart out the dips and... Sorry, technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator. Anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Heartbreak's MO. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Yeah, they do, don't they, Morgan? I wonder if you're kind of mad at this person you you always lose against in court. Funny. Funny how the cards fall. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. The point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer. You've got something catchy in mind? I just don't think that shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills, guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun, it's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake? Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah. They probably threw out the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So, to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with an 8-digit population, well, good luck! I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean, I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. By getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Oof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more. Or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher threat count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. Yeah, definitely no hard feelings. I didn't go out and shoot other people who look like you. Wow, but no, I would never do that. No hard feelings at all. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first under the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. Foreshadowing. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. I love this CG so much. Oh my god, screenshotting it now actually. It's so good. I love the profiles. Oh. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Episode 0. End. We did it! We did it! Yay! Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. This is not going to be the definitive voice I do for Sarah if I play chapter 1 again. Oh, I love this CG. Oh my god, I forgot about this. Screenshotting. Oh wait, this is David. Which means you'll be, you're going, oh wait, no, I don't know what his voice is gonna sound like. Don't take this with a grain of salt. Which means you'll be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I am sorry, I don't know. Sarah, hello Sarah. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Okay, whatever. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really? Educational, too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. Credits. Art and art direction by Evil Little Bug, which is incredible. The art, I think, is really good. I love the art direction especially. Oh my god. Programming by Patrick MCF. 3D modeling by A-Renders. A-Renders? Environments by Patrick and A-Renders. Written, directed, and developed by Brian Mulholland. Volunteer playtesting by Kristen, Hugh J. Maxey, Sadie Virtuous Vomit, S. Thumbat, Thomas Colamander, Xenons. Special thanks to Adrian, who is, for people who don't know, the creator of In Stars and Time, another indie game that's an RPG about time loops that is amazing. It changed my fucking life. Everybody should go play it. It's incredible, amazing, it's so good. Please go play it. At Alter Ellenix, Exumbrant, Kill Giloot, Modo. I feel like I recognize that name. I don't know where. Modo, Manmonks. Special thanks to DevTalk, the server, maybe, or the people, Early Game Mechanics, our friends and family, and Hugh the Plays. Me! Yay! All attributions available at ofthedevil.com.co. Check it out. Made with Unity, Nanny Novel, Dotween, and Pro Builder, in Shapes. A game by Nth Circle. Of the Devil, Episode 0, and he shall appear. To be continued in people I'm not going to do proper voices for. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney, and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything. That wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after, too. Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. So that's not just a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too? Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's 1,000,000 times more likely than the alternative. That heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Of the Devil, Episode 1. An Idle Mind. Which is really, really good. Is that all? Is that all, chat? No, chat. There's not a stream. I've never streamed in my life. Hello? Results. 2 articles out of 2, 6 profiles out of 6, 18 key terms out of 18, 70 pieces of evidence, 32 total credit. Congratulations! You finished episode 0 with 32 credit. You've also unlocked concept art. Yeah, I know. You also have 161 remaining store credits. Yay! Okay, well, bonus scenarios, maybe we can do those later, but for now, I think we're done. I think we're finished. This game is really good. You should go play it for yourself. And since it's free, if you liked seeing me play it, you could just go download it and leave a review, which would be really cool of you, really awesome of you. You should review this game so, you know, it gets more views on the Steam page and stuff. That's all, yeah. Woo! We're done.